percentage-wise in 1992 and 1993. But the council has been very responsible to the taxpayers and asked for less than 50 cents on the dollar of every municipal appropriation. Inside cap spending, as we've discussed earlier, prior to identifying the recycling error in the garbage and trash removal, we're looking at reduced by 140. So we're now approaching $200,000 that I'm going to need to get inside the cap. I am going to modify that slightly. I believe I'm certain that I can move $30,000 outside of inside the cap to outside the cap for the library liability insurance. Since that's directly related to the library, I know I can move that out. So our target probably is around $170,000 in reduced inside cap appropriations. And as we move through the departmental budget discussions in the next 2 meetings, I invite you to make those recommendations.
You want to go through the other ones that you have here?
Yes, the last two?
No, the other things that you're inside the cap spending.
Oh, yes. Well, the health department lost the contract of about $47,000. I have a number that you will see in when you look through your budget books. You're going to see that in the case of the health department for salaries and wages, I'm just recommending a number, one single number on for salaries and wages, and the health department can allocate that any way they want.
Okay.
All right.
Now you said 47. This says 40,000.
It's 40. There's no ceiling on these reductions, all right? If you want to go deeper with some of these...
Well, I just know what you're recommending. You mentioned 47, it says 40 here, so that's...
Well, there's...
Part of that is we got 1/12, the termination of the agreement with Long Hill took effect after February 1st, so we did get 1 month of revenue, but we'll get 1 month. That's good.
All right, actually, Ray, I'm not looking at that because I know that's non-recurring revenue.
Oh.
The remaining contracts, there are some slight increases.
Okay.
40 is the minimum, all right? And then I'm going to voluntarily reduce the health insurance inside the cap by $40,000. I think I've had discussions with most of you with the health insurance inside the cap. If I have it here at a certain level, our actual spending is here. If we have changes during the course of the year for changes in lifestyle, for marriages, for children, those premiums go up. And I want a reserve. I want to have a reserve for that, and I'm narrowing that reserve further. The third item, garbage and trash removal. I've discussed this with Ray. I received permission from Ray to put this reduction in here as a result of reduced tonnage. And then I would like the council to seriously consider reduced overtime in 5 departments: police, fire, public works, vehicle maintenance, buildings and grounds.
Question, Robert. May I? Mayor? Go ahead. Regarding overtime, the $30,000 represents what percentage of the total overtime?
Well, let's see. Police is 192. Fire is recommended at 103. Don't touch snow plowing. Nope. Don't touch it, okay?
We've already spent 50%.
Excuse me?
We've already spent per David 50%.
Yeah, correct, we have, all right. So I may have to increase that as well, salt and sand. 60,000 public works, vehicle maintenance about 15,000, and 16,000 in buildings and grounds. That's 386, so 30 divided by
Less than
386
10%.
About 10%.
is
Less than 10%.
Yeah, 8%.
Shut the door.
Very good. Okay.
You're a math major.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really bothering me, that pension thing. It's really bothering me. And God knows what's going to happen with that. I mean, there are no votes in the Senate, as there are right now, to see that bill through. So as long as we have the money to pay, we have to pay. Hopefully, we don't have to worry about the 8.25% going forward, either stupid iteration of the bill that's been put forward so far. So,
Danny, are you familiar with this issue? I'm sorry.
Lobby, that's all I can say.
Are you familiar with this issue, Dan?
Yes.
All right. As I stated earlier to the council, we looked at this in mid-December, both ways, full, partial. And after I received all the proposed numbers, and Ray and I worked on the recommendation, I wanted to see, do we have the financial ability to put in the full funding? And the answer is yes. The next schedule on the tax levy cap. Just as a refresher, we were allowed to go to 12.4 million last year. We're at 11.8, and we're 600,000 under the cap levy, which was very, very significant. So we asked for tax increase was $560,000. We could have gone another 600 though, so we cut it in more than half. This year, because of the constraints with the municipal surplus and the non-taxable municipal revenues and electric utility, my recommendation is to go slightly below it. Which is still a benefit for the taxpayers. So many municipalities are struggling to meet the spending caps as well as the tax levy caps. And then lastly, I just want to, as we decide on 2009, I want to put these thoughts in your head. Obviously, we want to control municipal spending, but on the revenue side, I'm saying the same as in 2009 or lower, but in 2011 we're going to have a real significant gap. For the electric utility, most likely significantly lower unless we take additional rate increases and put them in place this year, which will allow us. It will allow me, if we have the ordinance in place later in the year, it will allow me to budget for additional revenues during 2010. State aid and grants, just put a big question mark there. And then lastly, non-taxable municipal revenues, I'm saying most likely stable, but interest income will be lower due to interest rate cuts and a reduction in investable funds. And then we most likely, I should have included another one here, we most likely will not have, if we take the reduction in the reserve fund and collect the taxes, we will really not have any flexibility in the reserve for next year. So with that in mind, what we're going to need to do is, we're getting to the point where the amount of spending increases are going to be almost now, not identically, almost passed along in the tax levy. When we looked at 2006, 7, and 8, remember we're able to take $500,000 more of municipal surplus every single year, as well as some increases in non-taxable municipal revenues and some slight increases even in the electric utility. Those options are kind of off the table.